Right, let's move on. We've got both the Celtic and Rangers games. Both of them finished 1-0 to each of the Old Firm. Which one do we want to go to first? Any preference?
No.
Okay, let's go to St Mirren. Let's go to Paisley. St Mirren 0, Rangers 1. Dessers scoring early on, and then that was it.
Yeah, I think every report and everyone talking about the game, like they said, it was very breezy, and I think that was a mitigation as to why this game didn't really take off, and that was allegedly the reason behind Hemmings not being able to judge the flight of the ball. But it's hard to tell because on the replay didn't.
A really shit goal to lose for a number of reasons. Hemming just been stuck on his line. He really needs to come out for not on his line, but then stuck out in kind of no man's land. And also, the defence playing a high line and no pressure on the ball, and even playing a high line like that kind of early in the game, you just kind of think just kind of frustrate Rangers for a while, and then maybe kind of push them up. And I know that's St style to be up and at them at home against, regardless of who you're playing, but it was just a really frustrating goal to lose. And then St Mirren have chances to get back in the game in the first half. Not so much the second half. Rangers kind of took control of it a lot more, but yeah, there was certainly opportunities for St Mirren to equalise before half time.
They're just, it sums up St Mirren. I think that they are a very competent team. They're very good at lots of things, but when it comes to it and they have to just go that wee extra mile and create a good chance or punish a team for what was definitely a well below par Rangers performance, they can sometimes sometimes not quite have it to do anything other than effort the ball over the line.
They're quite blunt, and that there's it's like a collective heave will make sure that we get the result, as opposed to
none of the forwards are in form.
A bit of brilliance or something unexpected.
Like, nobody going forward for them is in form right now. Even if you compare it to even as we know them, how good they could be, because you can point at them and say, well, they're just not that good, and there is definitely an aspect of that. But if you look at guys like Ayunga's not at his best right now. Kilty's not at his best. McMenamin, for what we saw earlier in the season, is nowhere near that. And then you've also got Sanya. He started off the season very well. He's kind of regressed a bit. Still a better player than he looked last season, but he's still regressed. Same with Mandron. There's just a whole collection of guys who are not firing at this point in time.
And I don't expect James Scott to be the answer either. But you never know. You never know. But
he looked all right towards the end of his hub spell, towards the very end.
We scored a hat-trick in the last game.
Very end.
I remember that game. That game vividly. When he looked a player in a dead rubber.
Robinson obviously got the best out of him that I've seen in his career, because I thought when I saw him play for Motherwell, I thought this boy is very, very good. He looked like he had everything to be like a number 9. Physical, quick, direct, all the things, and then it's definitely not happened for him. And I think it's a decent enough signing, but obviously there's a difference between going signing and coming on for 20 minutes against Rangers being expecting to suddenly hit the ground running. But
and I think Rangers, you take it and talking about the next game as well, Rangers will be happier in terms of I think their fans can see things are getting better now. Whether the Celtic decline is enough to make that, I know everyone keeps talking about the title race, but it doesn't feel like a title race, if that makes
I kind of know what you mean, because Rangers still don't look that impressive, and I'll mention this in a second, because I thought Clement in general was a bit weird around this game. But
a weird man.
Yeah, he is a bit. But Celtic, I think the reason why you could certainly say that to me it feels like there is a title race, even though I've still kind of got more faith in the Celtic squad to go with it, is that Celtic just feel... There's something weird about Celtic.
The vibes again. Everything is now becoming like a vibes check on Scottish clubs at the moment.
If there was going to be a Celtic collapse this season, where it's under Lennon and the COVID season, where they lose 3 out of 7 games or something like that, I can see that. I can see that happening this season. It's just it shouldn't happen with the level of quality they've got. I think their squad's undoubtedly the best. Undoubtedly better than Rangers, saying best in the leagues. Obvious. It's undoubtedly better than their biggest rivals, but they're just not really showing it. So, and the longer the season goes on, the more you're having games like the game we'll get to very soon, when they're edging out Ross County at home. And the amount of times at home this season have looked really, really poor. It's
and conversely, Rangers are scoring, and Cyriel Dessers is getting the goal and looking
better
in a direction.
It's not long after the Duncan game where he scored, but looked horrendous.
Yeah, so it's you got to take your wins where you can get them. But it's hard to say because they scored so early on, but that it did, when watching this, feel like a game that under certain previous managers, maybe St Mirren would have found a way to get back in the game. I don't know, maybe that's harsh, but it felt more, the second half especially felt more contained. Like there was more professionalism in the team. Whether that is long lasting,
I mean, he's certainly, Clement is certainly better than Michael Beale. Like,
yes, but I think it's been proven that is that is not such an achievement.
But it was a bit of a weird, I thought it was a bit of a weird team selection, and kind of weird, like you said before the game, like this isn't going to be pretty, and then he's playing.
But maybe that was a result of the wind. Like maybe he just worked out that it just wasn't going to be.
Come on, like like how many times have we seen Rangers? Like, I mean, you saw Hearts Dundee getting played in that like swirling wind, and that was a great game.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah.
And but Dujon Sterling wide left, and they showed you on Sports Scene like how it hamstrung Rangers because he just always wanted to come inside, so they didn't have the space. Not only did they not have the width on the left, it also meant him coming inside meant that Cantwell didn't have a lot of room to operate as well. So he does that with quite a weirdly kind of negative team, and says after the game that he wanted winners. I don't know if Dujon Sterling has been a proven winner at any point, or Scott Wright is a proven winner, or really anybody in this team. Like apart from Goldson and Tavernier.
Are you sniffing at a League Cup win?
I was going to say they're both getting more trophies than Craig Levein.
Proven winners for Rangers. And then they have the few shots on goal for Rangers team this season. So they'll have some decent chances, and then he's got a response after the game is complaining about the pitch.
The pitch was bad, but nonetheless, I mean, I always come back to it. I think we spoke about it in relation to Rangers. Walter Smith put teams out like that all the time in one game. Some in these situations, 1-0, and he won a lot of league titles. And I don't. Ultimately, he'll live or die by the games he loses, not the games he wins. So you win a game, you move on. And I think, I mean, the same will be true for Celtic when we talk about them. It's like there are weird vibes to Clement that he's clearly, unlike Michael Beale, actually a football manager, which I think.
Half the battle.
It's half the battle, but Giovanni Van Bronckhorst was a football manager as well. Was clearly like he wasn't like a nobody that was brought. He was a coach. He knew what he was doing, and still didn't have it for Rangers at the time. And time will tell with Clement. I think he started all right, but there's still something to me of like needing to prove something by probably getting a big result against Celtic or I mean, well, yeah, basically that.
Yeah. But I think that there's also an element of, because he's new, we're not also recognising that the guy managing the other team is also a bit weird as well. Like, so,